Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a Monokuma plushie. Now he's quite big because I'm actually going to be cosplaying Junko in the upcoming London MCM Comic Con, and that is next week, and I'll be going on the Sunday, so I made myself Monokuma to go with my cosplay. Now I just want to apologise for the real delay in uploading videos. I've been so busy lately. Hopefully I'll be able to catch up a bit more after I finish my commissions and do a few more videos for you guys. So in the meantime I will show you how to make one of these. He was really fun to make and he's just really nice and cuddly, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll try to help you out as best as I can, and thank you very much for watching. Okay, so I'd just like to take you through the patterns a little bit because even though I put the sizes and everything in the picture, they're a little bit confusing, so I just want to explain them. And these patterns, they have basically a half and half basis, so even though I've done them together as like one big piece, I fold them over like this, and then I do two for each colour. So because Monokuma is black and white, I do two of these in white and then two of them in black. So for the ones that do this is the main body piece and the head piece here. You can see where I've drawn dotted lines on them, but obviously I don't know if you can see it on the picture I included in this video. I also put how many of the templates you need and also what colours. So obviously you just need two of each for the head and the body. For the tail you just need one of each, so you fold the tail in half like this. For the arms you need two of each, legs two of each, ears two of each, and the feet two of each. So you should have 4 templates in total for those of the 2 different colours. For the templates like this, I've included like a triangle dart, which just indicates that you move them together like this. It makes a more circular shape. It's the same with the belly button there and the mouthpiece. And then this little piece here I've got is just a tiny little piece that's for the bottom lip of Monokuma. Okay, so like always I start off with cutting out the templates. I just fold over the pattern and just cut out that half. With Minky there's one back to it that is sort of a not soft side, and then there's a soft side, to make sure that the 2 soft sides are facing like against each other when you cut them out. So once you've cut out all the templates, then what I do is I start to pin the pieces together that need to be sewn together on the machine. So what I do on the big body template, I have 2 lines from where the arms should slot, so just place the body pieces that you've got over the template and then measure your arms to where they come to on the template, and then attach them to where that is on the actual piece you've cut out. There's also leg lines as well, so pin the legs there as well. I then pinned the arms and the body and the leg pieces all together, soft sides down, to see how it would look. Obviously I will take this apart when it comes to sewing because I need to sew on the arms and legs before sewing the body pieces together. You can pin the ears onto the there's a cut in the template, like a little dip where the ears are supposed to go. Again, I did pin like the head together just to see how it would look, but you're going to want to sew on the ears before you sew the actual two base pieces together. Okay, so now basically what I do is I actually start with one colour on the sewing machine, so I've got white. What I do first is I then just sew along the arms, so you could like fold the arm over and it's flat down, soft side down onto the body, and then I just sew that line there, attaching it to the body, and I do the same with the leg, and then I do that for the other piece as well. And once you've done that, I will then pin the two pieces together so that you've got the whole of the arm together and the whole of the body and the whole of the leg. Then you sew around the outside, going along the curve of the body, along the sides of the arms and the sides of the leg too. Okay, next what you do, so a similar sort of thing, placing the side of the ear down onto the dip in the head, soft side down, just sew along that line, attaching the ear to the template, and then doing it the same with the other one, and then same as the body, put the both two sides together, soft side down, and then sew along the top of the head, around the ear and down the side of the head. Then for the feet, it's literally just a circle, so just sew all the way round and leave a gap towards the end so you can turn it inside out. Then just do the same for the black side, pinning the arms to the body, pinning the legs to the body, sew them together, then sew the other half of the body piece together. Same with the ears, sew the ears on the head, sew the two pieces together, and then the same with the feet as well, and then you should have both the two halves ready to piece together for your Monokuma. So starting off for the tail, what you need to do is taking one of the halves on their own, folding the triangles together, soft side against each other, and just sew along that little line from where the triangle is, which will then sort of make the piece curve. So do that for both the triangles on the black, then both the triangles on the white, and then once you've done that, pin them soft side down to each other and sew the line where they meet up together, soft side down, and then once you turn it inside out, you have a round sort of circular shape. Then pin the sort of the half and halves together, so just the line going down straight down the middle all the way around for the body and for the head. So you should just have a hole at the top for the body and a hole at the bottom for the head. And then you just sew where you've pinned on the machine. You just have to go all the way around the line, no stopping and starting, just all the way through. So now you have all your pieces and you're ready to turn them inside out. So just using a chopstick, that can help you get to the smaller areas, turn all your pieces inside out. And once you've done that, you can start stuffing him. Now my advice here is to not stuff too firmly, especially in like the gaps where the arms and legs sort of attach. because if you stuff too firmly, he's going to end up being too stiff and not be able to be moved, and he won't be as squishy and cuddly either, and I wanted him to be kind of squishy and cuddly. But I've left a little bit of a gap between the arms and the body so the arms can freely move around, and the same with the legs. But make sure that you just stuff enough to get like the roundness of him, basically. Okay, so once you have everything stuffed, I move on to closing the gap in the feet, which will now be all stuffed and ready to attach to the body. So what I do is I use the ladder stitch to just close up that gap, and you can see how I do the ladder stitch in my video how to make a base plush. Okay, so once your feet are ladder stitched up, I then pin them to the legs. So I put the legs down on top of the feet. I leave a little bit at the back, but then most of it is showing at the front, so they're not in the center or anything. Once I've pinned them down, I start to ladder stitch on the feet. Now, a tip that I have for using the ladder stitch for like rounder parts on a plush are when you go into one side and then you basically go into the other to do the stitch. So when you go into the sort of the base bit, that is the bigger part, the bit that the round thing is going onto, go like directly beneath where you sew on the top part, so that it's sort of somewhat underneath the pattern, if that makes sense. It's going into where the stuffing is, and then that will bring the stitching like in more, and therefore it will sort of curl round more and make a more circular shape. I also pin on the head here, making sure that the black and white parts of where the line goes down match up nicely, and making sure that it's on in a way that I think is nice and secure. Then I ladder stitch on the head, and again with the tip about having it on nicely is when you go into the head and come back out onto the body, when you come back out onto the body, go further sort of underneath the head, so then the thread will curl underneath the head to the neck and make it sort of fit onto the body more in a rounder way. Okay, so now your body is ready to add the final details for Monokuma now, and I start off with the little belly. With the pattern that you have, make sure that you've sewn up the triangle darts together, making sure they're soft side down, sew them up on the non-soft side, and then when you turn it over inside out, you should have like the lines making a circular shape.
And what I do is, how I stuff this one is I start pinning it onto the body and I pin it about halfway round, and then using a chopstick I will just like shove stuffing into it and keep putting stuffing in until I make it sort of the round nice shape that I want. And then once I'm happy with the amount of stuffing in it, I will pin up the other end, and that is when I will start to ladder stitch it down. Okay, so now moving on to the nose, taking the little piece you have, soft side down, press the triangle darts together and just sew them up, all 3 of them. And similarly to the belly, I then position the mouth part on with the head where I would like it and pin sort of the top half of it around, and then I will start to add in the stuffing with the chopstick. Once you've got the sort of muzzle part pinned on in the place that you feel happy, it's a good opportunity to then add on the facial parts, like the big smile for the dark side. So what I do is I cut out a sort of a curved triangle smiley shape, I guess, out of the wool felt, and I make sure that it's big enough to measure against the face, and I will just pin it down under the muzzle part where I would like it. And the same for the other side, I just pin out like a semicircle corner of black felt and pin that up against the smile, and then they're pinned down in the place that I would like them. And once I've pinned them in the place I'd like them, I then fabric glue them down. So I leave that pin for now and I move on to the belly button, and taking the little sort of circular piece that I have, put the soft side down together to sew up the dart, and then I also sew another one. I haven't included it in the template, but I sew another smaller dart on the other side opposite because I feel like this makes it more round. And the same with the actual belly, just pin and then put in some stuffing. I put in quite a bit of stuffing on the belly button because I wanted it to stick out a bit more. And then once I was happy, I pinned it down and again ladder stitched it down onto the belly, making sure that going into the belly I was going underneath the belly button to pull it in and make it round. Okay, so moving back to the face, I will then stuff more of the mouth part. Now that glue is dried, you'll be able to then finish off the mouth and stuff in the rounder sections and be able to pin that down to the mouth without that coming unstuck. Then once that's all pinned down, then use the same ladder stitch method and also ladder stitch up the line between the two sort of round semicircle mouth parts, just that line going up to where the nose will be. Add a little bit of stuff in. I didn't add that much stuff into this because it's just such a small piece, but add a little bit of stuff in, pin it down and ladder stitch that onto the face as well. So you're nearly done now. I cut out a small round dot out of felt for the eye, and then I cut out the sort of red shape for Monokuma's red eye, and I also cut out a nose. Once I've pinned these in place, I then just fabric glue them on. For the tail, it's the same method as the belly, and I just pin on the tail, add some stuffing and then pin it up and then ladder stitch it on, making to go further under the tail to make it round when I sew it down onto the body. So finally, the last part to do is the painting part, and I do this last so you can leave it to dry and then your Monokuma plush will be done. So all I do now is I paint on the lines for the teeth in Monokuma's smile, and I also paint on the cross for the belly button. Take your time, don't rush, make sure that you don't get paint on any of the other part of the plush. And then your Monokuma plushie is done, and I really did enjoy making him, and I'm very much looking forward to cosplaying Junko next week. If you happen to see me, feel free to come over and say hi. I hope you enjoy this video and I hope you find it helpful. Feel free to check out my Facebook page, give me a like over there, or you can check out my Instagram page where I post drawings that I haven't done videos for. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.